All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day of SaberSim's DFS office hours. It is Monday, July 3rd of 2023 here. July 4th is tomorrow. We will have no show tomorrow and we'll be returning on Wednesday. But for those of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Andrew. I'm one of the coaches over here at SaberSim's, a show where we go over how to use the SaberSim app, answer any and all DFS related questions. Questions can come in via support. You can reach us at support@sabersim.com. Questions can come in live in the YouTube chat. Questions can also come in the office hours channel in our Discord server. If you're not in our Discord and want to get joined up, there is a link in the description below. Highly recommend it. As always, get access to our similar channels, get access to all of our individual sport channels where members of the community, sharp members of the community, other SaberSim employees here are talking strategy and giving feedback to each other about different thoughts related to DFS in general here. So always a great thing to do, be in the Discord, be part of the conversation. But with that being said, going to get the app pulled up here. Looking ahead, we have a 6-game MLB main slate today. We had the John Deere Classic on Thursday for PGA. And then also for all of our tennis fans out there, Wimbledon started today. So Wimbledon is July 3rd through July 16th. Prestigious tennis tournament here. Pretty good DFS contests in the DFS lobby here. I was checking out the tennis lobby prior to starting up the stream here, and some healthy contests. So, we do have simulations for tennis. We have content about tennis on the YouTube channel if anybody is talking about it. We've released a couple videos recently here. Just wanted to cover this for you guys. If you go to recent videos, Jordan posted this video, how to learn a new sport. And I think that's like the perfect video for right now, right? So maybe check out that video and then come over to our playlist channel on our YouTube and then come down to, where is it? We have it in here somewhere. Tennis Daily Fantasy. Here it is. So we have these two videos, learn daily fantasy tennis from the experts. It's like a model interview talking with the models team about what all went into our tennis model here. And then this is a short 13-minute video, probably Jordan walking through some basic tennis strategy here. So if you're interested in playing some tennis during Wimbledon this year, check out these two videos. Check out that other video that was just recently posted 9 days ago from Jordan here, and that should give you a solid starting point for anybody wanting to dive into the tennis streets. But with that being said, and get the app pulled back up here. We do have one question today, just one to get us started. So if anybody has a question, something on their mind, something that they want to get answered before the day off tomorrow, and then, stream will return on Wednesday. We do this show Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, pretty much all weeks except for holiday weeks like this one. So going to hit this one from Hona Peanut in the Discord, and we will see where we go from there. Question says, how accurate is own percent across all sports in the SaberSim app? Do you recommend getting own percent from another source and plugging it in the app? Will SaberSim use new own percent when building? Okay, so it's a really good question. And so what I will say is that, we obviously put out ownership projections. We have a lot of faith in our own ownership projections. We think they are very good here. But ownership is this interesting metric, this interesting projection where so take like a fantasy point projection for Mitch Keller, right? Mitch Keller, this is his fantasy point projection, but he has this big range of outcomes, right? Sometimes he scores 40 points, his average is 15. Sometimes he scores, 0 to 5. You don't have that for ownership, right? Ownership is this number where it's gonna vary somewhat, right? Because a lot of this is projection based and salary based, and people are using these same metrics to analyze ownership across the industry here. But with ownership, there isn't a range of outcomes, right? He's not going to sometimes come in at 40% owned and then sometimes come in at 0% owned when analyzing the same slate, right? So ownership is like this thing where the more accurate it is, the better here. That's only going to help the optimizer figure out, how often you should or shouldn't be playing certain plays here. So I think in general here, our ownership is good. I think that aggregating ownership is always going to be better. And because, we're going to have probably a little different ownership than, Stochastic is going to have. And then they might have a little bit different ownership than what Run Pure has, right? So to take all of these things together and combine them, and that will smooth out some of the biggest differences and probably get you closer to what the actual ownership comes in at. I think in general, that's a good thing here. One of the reasons to not do that is, one, you're going to have to pay for subscriptions for all of these different sites, right? So that kind of sucks, like from a financial perspective, just having to pay for all these subscriptions just to get the ownership. What I will tell you guys is that, we are working on an update that is going to, I would say, make our ownership more accurate across the board here. I really can't say much beyond that here, but we're really excited about it. It's coming along well. And then last part of this question was, will SaberSim use the new own percent when building, and basically saying, like, if I upload my own ownership, will SaberSim use that value? So when we actually build your lineups, what we use is this adjusted own percent here. The reason for that is because we want to look at ownership in regards to players' range of outcomes, right? So I think Mookie Betts is a great example here. His projected ownership is 26.6% here. But what we're saying is that his adjusted ownership is 34.26. What this means is that, hey, we understand Mookie Betts' ownership is going to be about 26% here. But when we look at his range of outcomes, his highest outcome is 0 points, which he gets almost a fourth of the time. This is a really wide range of outcomes, and he is much less likely to achieve his average projection than somebody maybe like Blake Snell, where, his most likely outcome is much closer to his mean, and he is far more normally distributed in his range of outcomes here. So we want to artificially inflate Mookie Betts' ownership to make it higher. That way, when we go to grade the lineups in the post build, we actually limit the amount of lineups that Mookie Betts is in, because we are using a negative weight on average adjusted ownership here. So in the post build, if you look at the Saber score formula, it's usually going to be average projection, average sum projection, plus 99th percentile, plus negative average adjusted ownership here. And we can just pull that up now that I ran this build. And then you can see the different weights for these things here. So 0.3 sum projection, 0.7 times 99th percentile, negative 0.6 times average adjusted ownership. So with Mookie Betts' average adjusted ownership being higher, it's gonna make him less likely to get into so many lineups here, right? So he's still in 13 of our top 20 lineups, but he's only in about 12% of our pool lineups here. So this just kind of tells me that the builder is identifying the Dodgers as a top play tonight on this slate. And, that's kind of reflective in their ownerships here. It looks like they're going to be chalkier in general here, playing the Pirates at home. But that is what adjusted ownership is doing. So when we go to build your lineups, we are using adjusted ownership. The important thing here, which I haven't mentioned yet, is that when you upload custom projections, we are going to change the average adjusted ownerships. So when I change Mookie Betts' ownership from 26 down to 20, you're going to see his adjusted ownership change as well. So his adjusted ownership went from 34% to 24%. And if I were to increase somebody, let's say Tatis, ownership of 20, adjusted ownership of 26, when I increase him to 45%, his adjusted ownership goes up to 67%. So anytime you upload your own ownership, we are going to make adjustments to our adjusted ownership as well here. So you could feel comfortable knowing that is happening. So we are taking into account the ownerships that you upload here. If you guys are on the SaberSim Pro plan, one thing that you can do is you can upload ownership and save it. So let's say that let's say I come into upload, I upload my ownership, and then what I can do is I can save it. So then you just use this little save source button. You have two options: save projections, save ownership. So let's say that, I wanted to put Mookie down to 20. I wanted to put Tatis up to 25 here. And then I want to hit save ownership. And then I'm going to call this my own. And then I'm going to hit save. And so now this is going to be my own, and then it adds this little own at the end here. So as you guys noticed, I adjusted Mookie Betts. I adjusted Tatis. For every other player that has an ownership that I did not adjust, it will just insert the SaberSim ownership over in your new column for you automatically. And then what you can do is that now that I have two ownership sources here, what I can do is I can average them. And what it will do is it will use this average column, and then it will insert that into the ownership column, the my own column. So whatever's in the my own is whatever SaberSim looks at when going to build your lineups. So right now I'm telling SaberSim, hey, use the SaberSim projections, use the average ownership of my two sources here. And then so it'll be using this average column. What you can also do is you can weight this, right? Let's say that, you have two sources, and then you want to call this SS weighted maybe. So maybe I want to put 75% ownership weight on the SaberSim projections, and then 25% ownership weight on the other source that I've uploaded here. So what you're saying is like, hey, I like the SaberSim ownerships, but I want to lean on those a little more, but I also want to include this other ownership set, even just at a little lesser of a degree. So you could use these weighted averages too. And then now I have this SS weighted own, and then I can also go and change, make that my new source here, right? So then now this is my new ownership source. So SaberSim Pro allows you to upload and save projections, upload and save ownership, do averages, do weighted averages. You can name all of these columns different things here. And then, the great thing about this is that, say that you run into an issue where you are having trouble building lineups. You don't know if it's like a rule or some type of min or max exposure that is causing your builds to fail. So you need to use this red reset button. Because you have saved the sources, these columns in the table that you now have are not going to go away. They're going to stay here. But if you just uploaded your projections into the my own column, or let's say that, you're somebody who likes to come in here and tinker, right? You are tinkering with projections. You're boosting a bunch of guys up and down, as however, you come to that conclusion. When I hit that red reset button, it's going to get rid of all this work that I've done in the my projection column. And so now all of your work is gone. So sometimes people say, hey, I'm having trouble building. I don't want to get rid of all of the work I've done. After you're done tinkering, save these projection sets if you're on the pro plan, right? So, I'm going to move all these guys up and down, up and down. I can just go to projections and I can hit save. And then I can say my adjusted projections. And then I can hit save. So then now I have this my adjusted projections column. And then now what will happen is that if I use the red reset, I'm not going to get rid of any of the work that I did from this point on. So would highly recommend, if you're somebody who likes to come in here and tinker, to use these save projection options here, save ownership projection options, and just take care of some of the work that you did, because I know it takes time and it's a pain to go back and redo it all here, right? So that is what I would suggest. But really good question, Hona Peanut. Happy to talk about our ownership here, and I think that you guys will like some of the updates coming down the pipeline here. But for those of you just tuning in, that was our only question today. So if anybody has any questions they want to get in before the holiday here, I said at the beginning of the show, I'll say it again. We are not going to have office hours tomorrow, and we'll be returning on Wednesday, July 5th here. So in the meantime, while we wait for more questions to come in, just want to let you guys know that if you guys are not playing over on Owner's Box, I would highly recommend taking advantage of their overlaying contests of their soft user base here. We partnered with Owner's Box at the beginning of the MLB season. It's been a great partnership to date. Like I said, a lot of their contests overlay or will have no rake or reduced rake, and you really can't beat that in the 2023 DFS ecosystem. A lot of their like a lot of other major optimizers and DFS companies are not really pushing Owner's Box here. We were the first major optimizer to support them, so a lot of their user base is softer in general here, right? So gonna find softer competition than what you're gonna find on DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo for that matter. When you sign up, use promo code SABER or SaberSim, and you will get a $500 deposit bonus. We will track your entry fees, and you can earn 3 months of SaberSim just by playing on the site and nothing else. So each time you hit one of these entry fee thresholds, we will reach out to you, ask you if you want to claim that prize or wait for the next prize tier. Once you claim your prize, we will reset your tracking to 0, and then you will automatically start earning credits towards your next month, right? So there's no limit on the amount of free months that you can earn while this promotion lasts. So take advantage of it. And with that being said, going to jump back to the app. Have one question here from Derek. Derek said, can I switch from player ID number to names in the download lineups? Okay, so when you download lineups, so what we're talking about here, is that when we are, you're in the post build, some people like to take the lineups that they have here and run it through, outside stuff that they use that they've built themselves or things like that. When you click download lineups, you are going to get a file with player IDs. Okay. So if you do not want a file with player IDs, what you have to do is you have to come to the home screen. You have to click download player projections. And then you're going to get this CSV here, right? So this is our table from the home screen here. And what this is going to have, it is going to have DFS IDs and names here. So then what you need to do is take this file and put it, where did my download go? Okay, hold on. I know people ask about this from time to time, and I don't think I've ever demoed this, so might as well. We have a little bit of time today. Okay, so this is your player ID. So open a new tab, copy over the player table on the home screen. So then now you have IDs and names. And then on this page, so what I would do is I would just copy over my positions. And then I would do index. And then this is going to be what you want here. So then this is going to be your name column. Sorry. So then you're going to go to your file. You're going to go to names. And then, so what I'm saying is index the names and then match a player ID from this page to the player ID here in column A. And then I want the type to be exact match here. And then I'm just going to close that. And then boom, I get Tyler Wells. So 284,96752. So where's Wells? 284,96752. So then now I have Tyler Wells. And then the great thing about this is that I can just drag this across now. And then that should have worked. Oh, okay. So let me redo that. Okay. So then what I need to do is I need to lock in the values in sheet A. So what I always want it to look at player ID. So the way you do it is you do a $sign here. So I always want it to look at A. And I always want it to look at B here. So what I'm saying is that, hey, always look at the name column and always look at the player ID column. So then now when I drag this over, what will happen is that the A's and B's will stay. And then the only thing that's going to change is the column that the cell that it's looking at. So now instead of looking at A2, it's looking at B2. So now I'm pulling in the next picture, which is Jaime Barria, right? And then now I can drag this across, and then I will get all of the names that I want here. And then after I drag it across, I can drag this down, and then now I can see all of the players. I can see all of their names. So that is how you do that. It'd probably be easier to open up a third sheet. That way it's like only the names and not, you know, the IDs and the names. But that is how you do it. You do an index match, and, you know, you're indexing the names, you're matching the DFS IDs on the home page with the DFS IDs in this lineup download, and then you are making sure to lock in the ID column and the name column. Let this A2 change to, you know, A3, A4, A6, you know, whatever it is, referencing the correct cell for that player. So that is how you do that. I know people have asked about it in the past here, and I don't think I've demoed it, but I had a little time, so happy to show you guys. All right. With that being said, I think we are going to call it a day here. Hope everybody has a good 4th of July here. Tomorrow, we'll be right back for our next show on Wednesday, July 5th. If you guys are building lineups throughout the day, question pops in your head, drop it in the Office Hours channel. Let it sit there until Wednesday. Gets us a steady queue of questions to get started with on our next show. But until then, take care. Good luck in your contest. I will see you all. Thanks. Bye.